Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Poppy, if you've taken the ballerina classes the last couple of weeks, you realize what a challenge painting can be, but that is awesome. You want painting to challenge you a little bit because that little bit of frustration is going to push you forward. I promise it will push you forward. But tonight, the poppies are very easy. And this is where you need to let loose, not worry about how they look. Matter of fact, the more you can kind of paint freely, the happier you are going to be with the painting. So we're going to be painting poppies, kind of my style. But I thought, if they paint on my style, how does that benefit them? So if you are thinking about being an artist, or if you are an artist, how do you make it unique to you? Which is great for collectors and galleries. They always are looking for what's fresh, what's new. And I thought what I could do is just show you to kind of get your creative juices flowing. When you think of a poppy, hey Jake, is this highlighted?
Yep.
So I just made a red blob. And actually, you know what we could do? I have a green marker here. Let's just give it a little stem. So that red blob obviously represents our poppy, but just doing something right in the center, that little black dot, and what do we have? It's that simple, a red blob, little black center, a stem, and we have poppies. So you could use this with fabric, you could use this with ink, you can use this with watercolor, whatever your imagination can come up with. And so this is going to hopefully get you on that idea of how can I be creative? How can I create something that's unique to me? So that's the whole idea with these classes. We want to create artists. We want art to be fun. We want people to look forward to creating. And how many have looked at canvas, or they've looked at the paper and they all of a sudden, you know, that shrieking stop sound, and they don't know where to begin. So I know that happens to me quite often. So this class is kind of, it's going to help us get past all of that. And hopefully you'll be able to take the principles that we're going to discuss tonight and then make application with them. So we still have a red blob there. But let's just have a little more fun. And of course, if I use different colors, you can even do this. Look at that. You can't goof up that red blob. As long as you put that little black center in there, it's a poppy. So that's pretty easy, right? We can do that. So that's the idea of what we're going to do tonight with the class. We want to let go of the idea that it has to be perfect. Matter of fact, if we can kind of challenge the viewer, the person who looks at our paintings, just a little bit, to get their brain to say, work a little bit, and all of a sudden they go, hey, it's a field of poppies. That's what we're hoping for, because now they get involved with the painting and they actually start getting connected with the painting. It's a little subliminal trick that we're gonna discuss, we'll discuss a little bit tonight, but we'll discuss more of it in the course if you get an opportunity to sign up for that. All right, so that's how easy our poppies are. Let's see if we can't learn a little bit more. I'm going to take my charcoal. The one thing that we want to think about with poppies, they're a bowl. Just like in your kitchen, you have a bowl for cereal. And then in the bottom of that bowl is that black dot, that button. So when you think about a poppy, we want to think about the back. We're going to think about a petal there, a petal here, and then that little black dot in there. Pretty simple. So again, just the background. Whoop. I think somebody put butter on my charcoal stick here. So that little button in the center. All right, let's get the tape out.
Fingers. Get the super glue.
So are you able to see that pretty clearly? So I'm just gonna keep making my space here. I'm not worrying about the shape of the poppies, because remember, it's just that red blob. Look at that. So poppies should be that easy for us. If we try to overthink them, then it's going to become frustrating and we're going to want to give up. So think of it as a red blob, a dark black center, and that little stem coming down from it. Pretty easy, right? Now, if you really want to get fancy, you can get into the buds. And we'll throw some grasses in there. How's that sounding for everybody? Yeah.
Oh, I just realized we haven't done any.
I've been mute the whole time, haven't I?
What's that?
Have I been mute the whole time?
No. That would be funny though. But do you want to just keep doing a few more examples once you get once you're done saying whatever you need to say, and then I can, do a few reminders and stuff like that?
Awesome. Great idea. All right, I'll keep drawing some poppies here, and then we will hear from Buffalo Boughton Jake.
Don't
Jake,
make it into
the Buffalo Boughton.
Don't build it up. Don't build it up. It's nothing special. We just wanted to welcome everyone, because this is actually our, this is our biggest class that we've had so far. I think we had 124 signed up or something like that, so that's pretty awesome. But we just, if you haven't taken the classes yet, as I get to remind my reminders, there we go. We just want to remind everybody, or let you know, if you're not familiar with who Jeff is, he's been painting, selling his art for around 20 years or so. And so some reminders just about, and some things to note just about our classes. We just keep everyone on mute, just to keep everything organized and keep the classes going. We actually do record these classes and we post them to YouTube, but we don't record anyone else, and that's part of the reason we keep everyone muted, so we can just record Jeff's video, and then we'll post that to YouTube, so anyone who may miss the class can watch it back, paint along to it, or if you have to leave early, then you can catch what you missed. So let's see here. Oh yeah, so if you need to ask a question, we love questions. That just adds to the classes. So just try to use the chat feature, and I'll be looking out for any questions in the chat, and then I'll ask Jeff periodically if there's a question there. So let's see, what else is there? Yeah, I think that's all of the notes that I have. Other than that, just stuff about this. We also have a course coming up here pretty quick. They're on Sundays around, I think they were at 4. Now they're at 3 p.m. So you can either sign up for the course, as a whole, or as individual classes. Each class has a specific theme. So for example, like color theory, or specifically the brush strokes versus palette knife and stuff like that. So, but anyways, I will stop talking and let you guys get to painting. But good to see everyone. Back to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jake. I'm just having fun here with the poppies.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we had a green paint. We would just use that for the stem.
All right, we got a question.
All right.
Let's see here. Use oil pastels. Oh yeah, so you're using oil.
No, I'm actually right now. I'm just using acrylic.
Oh, you're just using acrylic right now. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
But you just brought up a great point. I'll be right back.
Actually, they mentioned oil pastels. What could it possibly be that Jeff's getting? Oh, there he is.
So what's interesting, if you look at this poppy right here, in no way is that a poppy, right? It's a bunch of scribbled red lines. But what am I doing to trick your mind into thinking that it's actually a poppy? So if you have some color, just try a little experiment with that. Just try smearing a little red glob on there and put that little black dot in, and of course the stem, and see if you can't fool your mind into believing that it is a poppy. Now I noticed that everybody is frozen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but it looks like that your one device is frozen.
All right, it's restarting.
Okay.
Good grief. Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
sure.
We can still see your painting and still hear you.
I had 500 windows open.
Well, that might
All right, so there you go. That's kind of the idea of the poppy. We can kind of have some petals going off this way. You just really can't goof up that red blob and black dye. And that's what's really cool about painting poppies. And people love poppies. And so it's easy for them to fall in love with paintings that are poppies. All right, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Huh. All right. So much for the super fantastic Wi-Fi that we're supposed to have. All right, so then if you can still see me, you're gonna notice this board right here. We're gonna use that as our canvas, and we're gonna, again, use our imagination. So now we've got the idea of a poppy down, and we understand how easy it is, but how do we make it interesting, and especially multiple poppies on the canvas? So here's just a few little tricks. We want to start out with our main poppy right there. So it's not centered, it's off-centered, which creates just a little bit of tension in the painting. So from here, we're going to kind of do a little push and pull with our poppies. And the idea is we want to create movement in something that is 2D. So how do we do that? So right now you may feel that that poppy has a slight pull this way, right? See this, the top of it right here? It's kind of just directing our eye there. What did I just do? I neutralized that pull. All right, so I'm gonna set up the, so Jake, what is the, I'll need the password again on this one.
Oh yeah, it's all
Consent.
right, just let me know. Let's see here.
Huh, that's funny that that's happening. All right, so I neutralize that area, but I want to still create more poppies. I want to still create some more tension, that push and pull. So what if I do, let's just set that one right there. So again, kind of creating a little bit of a dance. Maybe if you can imagine poppies or any flower really as a ballet. Multiple dancers up on the stage. And if you notice that they're all moving and they're coordinated and they're creating this movement on the stage. So what we're trying to do, if you can picture all those ballets going, maybe crossing the stage, both from the right and the left side, and you can imagine the visual display that would be. So what we're trying to do is recreate that with objects that are stopped. So we're going to keep going back and forth with that idea of push and pull. So let's create, we have all the same size here. And you can see that with, if I have them all going the same direction, let's say they were all pointed off to the right here. Your eye would then be pushed off to that direction. And if there was a strong wind, that's exactly the way the poppies would be. But in but in reality, we're creating that ballet. So we're using this push and pull in our painting. We're using smaller objects. Actually, let's go down to even smaller.
Hey Jeff, quick question.
Yeah.
There was somewhere asking, actually I got a couple questions, but somewhere asking about the colors, which colors are recommended.
Oh, perfect. So obviously everyone's starting to fall asleep. So we'll get on to the colors. I am having some technical difficulties here. So I can't see anybody and I apologize for that. Huh. Well, anyways, here is the idea. It's so important that we create this balance, this push and pull of the flowers. Even if we just change one painting or one flower, it's going to upset that balance. So that's how important finding that balance is. And it's, we're directing the eye of the viewer. Another. So we're going to try to recreate this with paint. We have our cyan blue, and well, now, so lemon yellow is actually the actual primary, but it doesn't have a lot of tinting power. So the next yellow that works best is cadmium yellow light. And so I usually go to cadmium yellow light just because it has that tinting power. So when I mix it with blue, I want it to turn into a green. So there's our three primaries. So cadmium yellow light, cyan blue, and magenta. Those three colors, you should be able to make just about any color from them. But since we don't want to spend the whole night creating color, I'm just going to have a little fun and add an Indian yellow. And cadmium red light. All right, so then we got our three primaries, and then we have our two fun colors. And of course, if you have other reds, feel free to use them because they're just going to add to the fun. All right, I'll add my white. I'll add a lot of white. And my black. I'm just going to add a little bit of black. There we go. So what one would you recommend? What was the original question? There we go. We just got some more added on, admitted into the room. So there's our colors. We have magenta, cyan blue, cadmium yellow light, we have Indian yellow, cadmium red light, titanium white, and ivory black. So if you have a variety of colors, that is okay. It will only add to the dynamics of the painting. So not a problem at all. So I'm going to just adjust my papers here.
All right, sorry for a second there, Jeff. My mouse was stuck, so I couldn't do anything. So
Well, what was up with all of this? That was crazy.
it's literally never happened before. All right.
All right, let's get this over a little bit. So there we go. Let's just make sure we got everybody in here now. All right. Yeah.
All right. Yep. Now I'm in. Now I'm letting everyone in. Wasn't able to.
What in the world? I apologize. I'm having absolute, my iPad will not respond at all.
Why is it with our biggest classes this always happens?
No kidding.
last one we had some technical difficulties also, but
okay,
right,
so so what this all means, even though we're using the primaries and two extra fun colors, the idea is we want to use basic colors and then repeat, or we're going to, let's say, recycle the same color over and over again. If we have a green and we want to make a variety of greens, we use obviously yellow to change the variety of the green. We can use more blue, which is going to change the color of the green. But we can also use red, and red is green's complement, so it'll actually darken up the green and it'll contribute to the beauty of the painting. Trust me on that one. So we have our canvas, our white canvas, and we got to just get past the fear of a white canvas. Well, how can we do that? We're just going to create a mess on our canvas, and then start editing or start putting things together to make the painting. What a crazy night. Sorry about that, everybody. So I'm going to be using a palette knife. Now you can use any color you want, but I'm going to start out with magenta and just kind of create a mess on here. Notice that I'm doing it, I'm not doing it down the middle. I'm going up just a little bit and doing it where my flowers will be.
Whoops, I think Jeffrey may have dropped off again here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here. Let's see. So it must be, that's what someone suggested, might be because we have so many people. Jake will take over, show us his painting skills. No, I won't.
All right,
There's
sir.
Jeff.
Oh, but just what we needed. Just what we needed.
Jeff, you're sideways. He's got that gangster tilt.
That's what I was going for. Oh man. There we go. How's that?
Good.
So I don't know what part you missed. Actually, let me try one thing.
All right.
There we go. So what I did is I took my magenta and created the background roughly where my flowers are going to go. And if you look, you'll notice that I didn't go right down the center. I brought it up just a little bit. And if I would have went down the center, I would have created kind of a static in the painting. So lifting it up a little bit allows me to make the painting more interesting. And I could have raised it or brought it down a little bit. But for this flower painting, it's more about the flowers and the ground rather than the sky. So there we go. We got our magenta in there. And even if you have an abstract mind, you can already almost start visualizing that those are flowers. So that's what we want to do. We want to start abstracting the mind, kind of suggesting the idea of flowers. So let's just bring in some of that yellow. You'll notice as you do that with the yellow, that you'll start creating orange. So orange is a secondary color. When you mix the magenta, the primary red with the primary yellow, you're going to get a primary or a secondary, I should say, orange. So the reason I did that is when you think of the color wheel, and I'm going around the color wheel. So we have yellow, we have red. Let's move the red over there. And then we have blue. So blue and yellow make green.
Okay. Oh, it looks like someone said, could we go a little slower?
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm trying to do is I'm taking the magenta, I'm going around the color wheel to get to my green. So I added yellow. Now let's just see what happens if I start adding blue to my yellow. You start seeing the greens come out. So there's the idea. I just used 3 colors and I created the basic idea of the flower field. All right, so that's just the beginning. Now, what are we going to do to kind of make this more interesting? Well, let's take our yellow and just a little bit of blue. You'll see that we get our green here. Let's just kind of cover that up. You'll notice how I'm applying the paint. I'm just scraping it in there in every direction.
Someone said, please tell Jeff he's doing great.
If you only knew how I felt, I think the anxiety is ready to jump out of my chest. All right, so we went from magenta to yellow to an orange to green, and now a green blue. But let's go a little bit further. We're going to add blue. So we added blue. Now we have a cooler color down here. And that's actually, if you can imagine the sunlight coming down, the yellow is where the sunlight's hitting first. Then it's going to its natural color, the green. But now we're suggesting the idea of cool or in the shade. And that's what that blue is accomplishing. But we want to keep going around the color wheel. So I'm going to actually add in some pink to my blue. What did that do? Created a purple, but in reality, it's very dark. Do you see what we did here? So we took our magenta, and this is just using our primaries. We went from yellow and orange to green and blue, back down to this, what I'm going to call a muddy purple color, because we used blue, yellow, and magenta down in this bottom area. So we created a dark, muddy color, which is complementing our clean colors. Hopefully that's making sense. But that's just a little bonus color theory to help us appreciate how much fun color is. All right, so let's start making some flowers. Now, what if you remember, we have that back color of the poppy. So I'm gonna create my first flower. I'm just gonna throw in my colors here. Same pattern as that I had on my paper there. You can't really see it, but it is there.
Let's see. One question here, Jeff. Someone was wondering about the color of blue that they're using.
Oh, yeah.
They said, let's see here. I'm just getting back to some of the questions. Let's see here. They say they have sky blue, cobalt blue, phthalo blue, and ultramarine blue. Let's see here. I'm just getting to the rest of the question here. I don't have cyan blue.
What I would do is take your phthalo blue. Actually, let me backtrack. Take your cobalt blue, which is a warm blue, and mix it with ultramarine blue. So now you have a cool blue and a warm blue that's going to neutralize each other. So just, I'm going to put some lighter color in here just so we can see my flowers better. While everybody's catching up, I'm going to try to restart my iPad one more time.
What was the Jeff, what was the color for the flowers that you used?
I actually took my magenta and cadmium red light and mixed them together. And what that did is just made a little bit darker light. So I'm always going to work from dark to light with oils. Actually with acrylics also. So I took that magenta, mixed it with my cadmium red, and actually, so what I did, if you think about it, magenta is a cool red. The cadmium red light is a warm red, pushing, going towards the orange. So I mix those together, I get a darker red. They neutralized each other and created this darker color. All right, I'm finally winning with Zoom. There we go.
That's good to hear. Perfect.
All right, so what was that, Pat? 989-644?
Yes.
There we go. Let's see if we can get that to work now. The host will let me in soon. Perfect. There we go. How's your evening going? Probably a little more smoothly than mine. All right, so there you go. We created this dark red and created that red block, right? So really nothing else matters on here except for those red blobs. Matter of fact, those are going to be our main characters. All of the background, there's secondary characters in this painting. They're not important, okay? So if we start to worry about those secondary characters, we're gonna kind of throw off the balance of our painting. Kind of, if you can imagine a movie, there's always those two main characters, right? And then there's secondary characters. We don't care about the secondary characters. We only care about those two main characters. Well, our two main characters are our poppies. So that's what we're going to focus on. So what does that mean? That means we can take colors here. Just have fun. We don't. If you saw our Instagram live at the beginning of the week, I explained when we go slowly through a painting, it's a little bit more of a challenge because we're not trusting our intuition. We're actually, we're letting logic play a part in our painting. And that logic is fighting with intuition, right? So on last week when we did that Instagram live, we just did it by intuition. And that's where really the fun is. And so what we'll do at the end of this class, if you have another canvas, an extra paint, we'll do a 20-minute painting. We're going to paint these same flowers, do it in 20 minutes. And I can 99.9% guarantee that it'll turn out better. That's the cool thing about painting from intuition. So here's our main characters. Just so you don't think I don't know what I'm doing here, I'm just going to throw a couple. So what I did with that color that I just added, I took cadmium red light and a little bit of cadmium yellow light. And of course, I'm going to create a cadmium orange light with that. So if you think about it, as far as our painting goes, we want to create some contrast. With all of the colors that we just used, we're staying in the mid-range. So imagine color going from white to black, and the mid-range is going to be what, 5, right? Maybe 4 to 6. So all of our colors have been in that 4 to 6 range. So what we have to do is push the contrast in our painting. And so I'm going to keep reminding you of this as we go through the painting, because contrast is what makes the painting interesting. So that means light and dark, big and small, clean colors and muddy colors. Let's see here. Lines versus shapes, anything that you can think of that will create a contrast is going to enhance your painting. So right now, I keep pushing. So I have about my reds up here, right? Well, the contrast of red is green, and I have dark reds. So I'm going towards a light green. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my yellows, a little bit of blue, and creating a lighter colored green. So I have my light colored green next to my dark red, and you could say a little bit of muddied red because I mixed the magenta, the cooler red, with the cadmium red light, which is warmer, which created a muddy color, even though it came across as just a dark red. So this is the secret to painting. Keep going through the process and thinking about contrast. So pushing the light and the dark, the clean and the muddy colors, the sizes. You will, when you get to the end of the painting, you're going to have a fantastic painting. And I don't know if you can see this, but the painting's already starting to come to life, even where we're at. All I'm doing is suggesting the shapes. I'm really not painting flowers. I'm just creating color and putting it on there, applying it to the canvas, and suggesting poppy flowers. All right, so let's create a little bit of green. And I'll lighten it up just a little bit. So there's my green. Remember I said earlier to create a variety of greens, and this, if you're a landscape artist, this is a great secret. You add yellow, you may add white, that's going to create lighter greens. You may add blue, which is going to make a cooler green, but you may add the primary red, and now you're going to create a muddy green. So let's see how this works. Let's grab our green down here. So I got kind of a dull green, but remember, we're thinking about contrast. So we put it up here next to our bright, clean greens. And look what it does. It makes them stand out. Did that make sense? So again, contrast. We know that yellow and blue make green. We would never in a million years think about adding red to make a green interesting. But because we have those nice clean greens and we throw in that muddy green, they beautify each other. They enhance each other. The contrasts work together to make the painting more dynamic. And so no matter how you paint, what you paint, if you remember that one basic color theory, you will create better paintings, guaranteed. And sometimes what's really cool about painting is it's hard to trust that theory, right? Because it goes against our natural tendency to think that there's some sort of red in green. But next time you're out in nature, well, not during the winter time, obviously, but next time you're walking this spring, when you're walking through the woods, notice how much red is actually in the greens. You'll see bushes that have red tints. It's especially easy to see it in the fall. So that's one of the cool things about color as we're messing around here with these poppies. Color is super dynamic. I mean, I describe it as there's 10 doors open, presented to you. You open up one door, you have 10 extra doors to open up. You open up one of those doors, now you have an extra 10 more doors to open up. And it goes on and on like that. And so learning color is one of the funnest parts about art. It's what makes art fun. And there's times where you will mix a color, you're trusting your instincts that it doesn't, your logic tells you there's no red and green, right? But you're trusting your instincts, you add that in there, you apply it to the canvas, and bam, you will have this incredible painting, way more dynamic than you originally started. And that's usually what separates a beginner artist with a mid-career artist, is understanding that little secret right there. All right, let's get back to our painting. So again, we're still in the mid-tones here, nothing too exciting. So let's just keep seeing if we can't notice that I'm mixing yellows now back in with my muddy green, or my green that has red and green together. Let's go stronger contrast here. All right, let's go back in here and we'll just kind of throw some colors around.
Quick question, Jeff. Let's see, somebody had a question. They said, could you repeat that part again, please? Which colors did you use for the green?
So, so with green, we know that blue and yellow make green, right? So if you take those three primary colors, they make every color. Well, blue and yellow make green, blue and red make purple, yellow and red make orange. So those are our secondary colors. So from those three colors, we can create any color. And of course, we keep mixing from there. Just like you mix blue and yellow together and you get green. Well, if you add a little bit more blue in there, what do you get? You get more of a turquoise color. You mix in the red, you start getting a muddy color, and you can get a variety, millions of colors just from those three colors. It's a little secret in keeping your painting harmonious. I'm going to go back and keep playing with my greens here. So I'm going to add some more yellow. Just a little bit of white.
Okay, when you get a sec, Jeff, it looks like Lena Banks wants to just show her painting to you, Jeff.
Right. Wait, before you show Lena, every week her painting's better than mine. I don't know why you do this to me, Jake. She has to teach one of the classes one of these weeks.
I know. We got to keep you humble, Jeff.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so where's Lena? I see, Lena. Beautiful, Lena. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so now if you want, you can go a little bit redder. You think of those poppies. My favorite poppy, they're certainly all kinds of different colors, but my favorite usually are in the red, pink tones. So have a little more fun with that color. All right, so our painting is coming together. Let's just create a little bit of so I have black on my canvas or on my palette here, but if you want to see a better black, take a little bit of the blue and the cadmium red light and mix them together. Ada, that's exactly what I'm hoping for. She just made a comment that she starts doing her own thing. And I can't tell you how important that is, more important than everything that I'm telling you. So the whole idea is to get creative. We're actually trying to trick our minds and the viewers' minds into believing that we have a field of flowers here. And so whatever creative means that takes, go for it. So thank you, Ada. That being said, I'm going to create just a little bit lighter color. I'm going to say red just for to make it simpler. So I had my cadmium red light and my magenta. That made a nice dark red. But now I took the cadmium red light, mixed it with the cadmium yellow, and now I'm getting a nice clean orange color. And so if you take now, if you watch what I'm doing, I'm sliding just ever so slightly. Actually, if you look on here, actually, let me do something. Let's make a nice strong contrast here. So here's my red blob. Let's throw that dark black button in the center. So I'm not covering up the blob. I'm actually painting or suggesting the front of that bowl that we talked about earlier, or the front of the poppy.
I'm just gonna step away here for a sec, Jeff.
All right.
Promise to behave.
Promise to come back, Jake.
Yes.
Don't leave me here. All right, so how's everybody doing? I've been talking, probably putting you to sleep with this boring talk, but hopefully the idea is starting to come across that there's no right or wrong way of doing this. As long as you can imagine the flowers in your mind and then apply the paint in your creative way, you will have success. And if you painted exactly the way I painted, first of all, if everybody did that, how boring art would be. But if you start creating these red blobs in your style, you're going to be very, very happy with them. And of course, maybe this is the first night that you've done these flowers. Expect frustration, but do them again. Even like shortly here, we'll actually do a 20-minute painting. We'll do the exact same thing, but we'll do it in 20 minutes. What's really cool about that is you have no choice but to trust your instincts, and you're just quickly applying paint. So every time you apply paint, you're adding a suggestion to the painting, and that power of suggestion. And yep, here it comes. The power of suggestion. If you've been taking these classes, you've heard it a million times, but this is one of the coolest things to understand about making paintings. So if we painted realistic poppies, we told the whole story, right? Somebody will look at our painting and say, well, that is a beautifully done, realistic painting of poppies. And they might admire our techniques and everything that goes along with that. But we want to create a powerful story in our painting. So we're not using words, but we want to be able to move the viewer. All right, so here's the idea. Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was considered one of America's greatest writers. But this is interesting, is he was criticized because he was a simpleton. And they called him a simpleton to mock him. One critic said, you don't need a dictionary to read a Hemingway book, right? And so he kept with simple ideas, he used simple words, but yet he's considered one of the greatest writers. Here's an example of what a great writer he was and how powerful he used his words. So the story goes that he challenged some friends because he knew that these critics were mocking him. He said, if I can make you cry with 6 words, $10 from every one of you. They all laughed at him and said, all right, $10, we'll give you $10 if you can make us cry with 6 words. So he comes back to them, and here's the 6 words. Now think about this. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. He cut out all of the details, and now he tells a very powerful story, but he uses our imagination to tell the story, right? So that's what we want to kind of do with our paintings. We want to leave out the details, and that's one of the cool ways of how we're painting right now, is we're abstracting it to the point where all the details are suggested. Just like in Hemingway's story, the story is suggested. And it is very, very powerful how it reaches right to the person's heart. All of his buddies handed him the $10 saying, "You did it. You made us cry with those 6 words." So here's what happened. They heard those 6 words and it affected their heart. It got them involved in the story. So they had to actually work a little bit to finish the details in that story. With our paintings, we're suggesting flowers. So now what does the viewer have to do? They got to work a little bit. They have to allow their mind to get creative and fill in all the details to finish the story. So with our painting, and like I said earlier, I'm not painting flowers. I'm just throwing paint on the canvas, suggesting flowers. But I'm hoping someone who sees it will get involved and finish the rest of the story and say, hey, it's a sunny, beautiful day. It's a field of flowers. There's motion in those flowers. They can see the ballet of the ballerinas dancing across the stage. And so I'm trying to create all these imagery in their mind, but I'm doing it subliminally. So another boring story, but again, it makes a painting fantastic. Try to apply that in your art. You'll leave out the details, leave out the extra details, just like Hemingway did, and let the viewer fill in the rest. All right, so let's get back to our painting. So we have our poppies up there. So let's just throw in just some slight sunshine. If you notice, a lot of my shapes are not looking like flowers, but I'm not afraid. Doesn't bother me at all because I know that I can correct these things. And what do I mean by that? Let's see here. Here's a spot right there. Boom. Get rid of that one. Let's round that out a little bit. We'll round that one out a little bit. Fix that one. So, yeah, look at that. Just doing a little editing as I'm painting. All right, how's everybody doing? Is this all making sense? So if you join tonight and you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna do a paint along painting, Jeff's gonna say, hey, put red here, I'm gonna put red there. That's kind of how the class is playing out, but it's not the purpose of them. The purpose is to teach you to become a better artist, more creative, have more fun when you are painting. And there's a lot of fear in art, and this style of painting, what we're doing removes that fear. All right, so let's see here. What about our sky? Now we can do any color we want. So if we did a yellow, maybe it would be the rising sun. We could do a blue sky and it'll be midday. Yellow again could be the sun setting. So maybe I'm going to do a blue sky just because I don't want to throw anybody off. But if you decide you want to do a different color, go for it. All right, so blue sky, the blue, when you're looking at the landscape, along the horizon, so if you're looking across the landscape along the horizon here, is going to be our lightest color. So then as you go up from there, and if you're looking straight up into the sky, that's where the sky is going to be blue, blue. But down on the horizon, it's actually going to be very light, almost white. Okay. And I saw somebody said they ran out of yellow. Do you have a ochre? Or there you go. Try an ochre. All right, so let's I need some more white. So I'm just going to go, actually, I'm going to throw a bunch of white on here first before I mix it in with my magenta. All right. So I created my blue sky up here. Now I'm going to take it and start bringing it down into my flowers. So I don't know about you. I didn't necessarily push too hard with my palette knife. So I got a little bit of mixture in with the magenta. But for me, that just added more dynamic to the painting. Some little subliminal a variety of colors, just adding that little subliminal interest in the painting. So let's go up. I need more blue. Put that up there. Just like if you can make this connection, just like I wanted those flowers kind of just softly going in every direction, I did that same thing with the sky. So just kept pushing, making my palette knife strokes, going in different directions, kind of creating that balance, that push and pull that makes a painting interesting. And you can overwork it, and what will happen is you'll just have a very smooth transition from light to dark, or you can actually create it where it becomes all one color, one medium color. But if you can kind of create those little marks in there, it goes along nicely with how we're painting the bottom section of the painting. So it connects, keeps on with that idea of movement in the painting. So let's see here. I still feel like we're in those medium, the 4 to 6 color range. So I'm going to push the contrast just a little bit more. So let's add some more white to our green here. If you don't have any, if all the green is gone, just make a small mixture of it. Add some white. Bring that down into your flowers a little bit, suggesting that the sunshine is kind of escaping past the top part of the flowers and going down beneath the flowers. So let's just bring just a little bit of white, or off-white, I should say, light colored green. Still, I feel like it's not, the contrast still isn't strong enough there. So I'm going to go even lighter. I still have the green in there, but man, it is really getting close to off-white, or just a white color. I don't want to use a pure white, but I'm going to get down to I'm going to describe it as a 2. In our scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lightest, I'm going to get as close to a 2. And now I'm going to come back and start filling in here. And of course, as I go down past the flowers, I'm going to use less and less of that light color. But you can kind of start sensing that the light is going down past the flowers and into our earth area down here. So now we came down with light. We're going to actually come up with the dark. So we want to keep creating that interchange of contrast. So light, dark, clean, muddy. So we came down with some pretty clean colors. Let's come back up with a let's grab a little bit of that. Still very green, but it is very, very dark. So let's just have some fun in here. Let's get some more, get warm colors in there. All right, I'm starting to like how this is turning out. I like the fact that we have, now think about this real quick, watch this. What did we do? We have red right here, right? In our flowers, that's the obvious red. But now we just subliminally, or we in a sneaky way, we added red down here in the bottom. So we just connected the painting, our red here with our red down here. So again, we're creating a color harmony in our painting. So what else did we do? Remember we added that little bit, or we had that magenta hiding in the background with our blue. So now we just snuck up our red, our primary, into the sky a little bit. You look at the painting and it's very subliminal. We don't even subconsciously recognize it. But what our goal is we harmonize the painting. We have our colors moving all over the whole painting. Now, do you have that happening in your painting? Is it working for you? And again, you will have some frustration. This might be completely new to you, but if you think about that principle, taking the color and keeping it floating around in the painting, the whole painting, you will have a successful painting. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Let's remember I said we want contrast, so I'm going to take, I have all my color swipes in there, so I'm going to just do some lines. And what I do is just fill up my palette knife and slide it across the painting. Again, contrast. We had big blobs in our painting. Now we're adding some lines. We got some dots in there. We haven't painted flowers. All we've done is apply paint with a suggestion of flowers. And it's starting to tell a story like Hemingway, but it's not giving the viewer all the details. So we're creating enough story to get the viewer involved in the painting, and they start creating the rest of the story in their mind. That's our goal. So you could take this further. Let's just start lightening up.
All right, looks like we got one question that came in here. Someone's asked, could you show me how to do a bud? You mean the bud of the flower? Let's see.
The little black button?
I think that's what they're referring to, yeah.
Robin, we're watching you.
Okay, yep,
That's
yes.
that's the first rule of the art class is nobody tells the other person that they have paint on their face. We just see how long we can get away with it without them noticing.
It's all part of the fun.
All right, so go back to that. We'll go back to our red blob right there. We're going to take at our center. Remember, we're thinking about this as a bowl. So in reality, this is going to be darker down here, right? So we darken up that. We're just thinking of it as a bowl, actually. That's not complicated. And sometimes they'll just take a little bit of blue and put it across that black button. Let's do that in here. Actually, let's get a turquoise blue in there. Let's really make this. So we have all these warm greens in there. We want more contrast. So let's add a little. There we go. And this might be the time where you really notice how powerful those contrasts are. So right now we have all these warm greens going from green to almost an off white yellow. But let's just throw in these cool turquoise colors. And this is where we'll really see some action happen. Who is the chef that says bam? There you go. We get to do the bam.
Bam. All right, let's see here. I think we got another question.
How about I give them an answer and see if the question matches up with the answer? I think that would be more exciting.
All right. Go ahead, Jeff.
Blue.
All right, let's see.
What's the question?
So, I'm looking here. So I ran out of light colors. I guess mine is an evening setting, they said. So you ran out of light colors.
Oh, okay.
I guess it wasn't a question. But
Blue.
Blue's the answer. Yeah.
so how's everybody doing? All right, so here's the problem. If you're frustrated, and this will get better. So you have to imagine you are painting from my intuition. And so you're almost afraid to trust yourself with this painting. So let's just take a break, step back from your painting. Matter of fact, get up, step back about 6 to 8 feet. Now, why this is important, and as you continue to paint, remember this, we have to paint from 6 to 8 feet away. Because imagine going to an art gallery or museum. Where are you standing to admire the painting? Well, it's 6 to 8 feet away. So if you can paint your painting from 6 to 8 feet away, which means that you step back, you observe the painting, you almost let the painting talk to you a little bit, get a nice little conversation going. Hi, how are you doing today? What do you think of Jeff's jokes? Oh, they're hilarious. They're the best ones I've ever heard. See, those kind of conversations, no, not really those kind of conversations. Really what you want to do is listen to the painting, what isn't right about it. And if you listen to it, it'll tell you, hey, there's some static over in this area. There needs to be more contrast. I feel that my eye being pulled off the canvas, so I need something that's going to direct it back in. I need a counterweight to pull the eye back in. And so that's the kind of conversation we want to have with our painting. And it's best to do it from 6 to 8 feet away. So you're not seeing me right now. If you notice, I'll keep standing back here. And what that does is it allows me to look at the whole painting, all connected together. All right, so another little trick with that is if you have a camera on your phone, look at your painting with through your phone using the camera. So just like we have a critical eye, and somebody else looks at our painting and they say, oh, wow, that's beautiful. It's because there's a fresh set of eyes on our painting. Well, that camera lens does the same thing. You can also use a handheld mirror and look at the painting with the handheld mirror or through the handheld mirror backwards. Again, it'll tell you, it'll give you a fresh set of eyes to tell you what the painting needs. So there's just no getting around that idea of observing the painting and listening to what it says. That being said, when we do our fast painting here shortly, you are going to have no choice but to trust your intuition. And so what's going to happen is the logic part of your brain and the intuitive part of your brain, the more you paint, they're going to start getting closer and closer and working along with each other. So again, it'll be frustration. Work through the frustration, and on the other side of it, you will reap rewards. Matter of fact, frustration is your teacher telling you what not to do next time. And don't say, hey, I can't do it because I must not be an artist. The truth is, you just haven't discovered how you create yet. So keep painting. Discovering your style or how you're going to paint is part of the process, part of the journey.
All right, looks like someone would like to show their painting.
All right.
Let's see here. Susanna's son. She would like to show hers. All right, if you look in the chat, Jeff, when you're done, you can see who would like to show their painting.
I'm going to say, guess the name is Conover. Am I saying that right? So Conover, your painting is fantastic. This will be my only suggestion, because remember, we want that contrast. We want to create some friction in our painting. So if you look at your painting, all of the flowers are lined up. So my flowers, some of them are lined up a little bit, but they're kind of spaced out. I guess these two are lined up nice. But see if you can't create some more of that variety in there. So it'll just create more interest in the painting. But the flowers are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Tiffany, home run. You can already start buying presents with that one. You know the money's coming in after that one. Absolutely beautiful. So you can tell Tiffany kind of made it her own. She worked through it, almost letting go of what I'm doing and trusting her intuition and working through it. And so she edited to her taste, to her standard of beauty. And that's what we're trying to do. And look at how beautiful that is. And the same thing with the Conovers, exact same thing. They completely left what I was doing, did their own thing, created absolutely a beautiful painting. So if you're working with, well, if you're working with acrylics too, if you're working with oils, you should have a day or two. Some oils will even take longer. They can even take weeks to dry. But if you go get some more of the color that you need, continue with the painting. If you're working with acrylics, they will dry. You may have noticed they dry real quick. Go get that color that you need and keep creating. Now, if you're at a point with your painting, you don't know where to go with it, leave it and paint the painting again. And so what you will understand or come to appreciate in making the comparison, the one painting will tell you what the other painting needs, and the first painting will tell you what the second painting needs. All right, so are we ready for that fast? Did you make sure you sign it? That signature is the beginning of creating value with your art, okay? And all right, so maybe this is your first time with us. Jake, are you able to find Joan Mitchell?
Yes, just give me 1 minute here.
All right, so we're gonna ask the question, what is art? Because it seems like an unanswerable question. So what you have before you is art, all right? Joan Mitchell, not Joni Mitchell, the singer, but Joan Mitchell, she was actually, I think she was an American artist, but I think she spent her time in France during the 50s and 60s and stuff. And she was one of those French artists and blah, blah, blah. Well, we're going to just examine her art for a moment.
All right,
and we're going to compare it to your art. And if sometimes we can find it, sometimes we can't, but
think
we'll hopefully find the value of her art.
Yeah, I think I found All right, let me go back. This is in the wrong. I'll just show these. There's 4 here.
Okay, perfect. We know the value, so we can tell them. Oh, actually, the prices are on there.
Yep.
All right, let's look at that first one. Okay, let's compare our painting to that one. Anybody see the price on that? If you can see the price, Jake is going to buy it for you. Oh, it's sold. Jake,
Yeah.
you escaped that one.
Whew.
Do you guys see that value? It started out between 4 and 6 million, and it sold for $9.3 million. All right, compare that with your art. So what is art? I think Andy Warhol said it best. Whatever you can get away with is art. But one thing that makes it art is your signature. I'll tell you, actually, that Joan Mitchell, if you can imagine this moment, because I grew up loving art, loved to paint, loved to draw, but I knew I wasn't an artist because I compared myself with everyone else. And so I'm in a bookstore and I see her book. I pick it up, I'm looking at it, and I'm going through it. And all of a sudden, it hits me what art is and what it isn't. And I knew from that point forward, I was an artist. I could create anything I want and get away with it, as long as it has, actually, let's get past the idea of as long as it's pleasing looking, because a lot of her art isn't necessarily pleasing looking. It's her name. Her name is what puts value on that painting. So if I put my signature on there, it would be worth $5. Joan Mitchell has her signature on there, it's worth over $9 million. So that's the idea with art. Create something unique. Put your brand, your logo, your signature on it, and now you have something of value. Imagine some collector. He has Picasso's absolute worst, ugliest painting possible. It is just ugly, and it's hanging on his wall. And on the wall next to it is just everything lined up. My best painting. Just everything went into this painting. It is just my favorite, my best painting. When that collector has his friends over, which painting are they going to be impressed with? They'll go, whoever Jet is, or that buffoon Boughton, but they'll look at Picasso and they'll all be going, "Oh, you own a Picasso. Oh, wow, we're impressed." And of course, the collector is going to be going, "Yeah, I own a Picasso." So there's a little secret in the art world. Creating and putting a value on your brand. All right, so are we ready to do that quick painting?
I think everyone, we have 2 people, I think, that want to just show theirs to you real quick, Jeff.
All right.
Let's see here. It's in the chat. Renee would like to show hers, and
okay, so
also,
remember to screenshot it so we can steal from their ideas later.
Yeah, make prints of it.
Oh, Renee, what are you doing going off course
oh,
like
wow.
that? Beautiful.
That's super cool.
Absolutely beautiful. It's striking.
And I want to see as well. Okay, let's see here. Hey Renee, could you show your painting again? I'm just gonna spotlight it real quick so everyone can see. Oh, she said, oh yeah, she says it's not done, but here, let's add the spotlight and see Renee's.
Look at
Oh,
that.
look how cool that is. That can,
Okay, so here's a good idea of the power of suggestion. Renee has no stems in that painting, but does any one of us doubt that they're poppies? She has those secondary characters, all that secondary action happening in the background. And it isn't important. What's important are those red blobs, those flowers. So she's telling the suggestion of a story, and we're filling in the details. Nice job, Renee.
yeah.
So we will run out of time if we look at everybody's painting, but if you want to hold up your painting, and this is what's really cool, everybody look around, because right now you're going, oh, I don't like my painting, right? Okay, so look around, and everybody's looking at your painting saying, oh, I love how they did it. I don't like my painting, but I love how you did it. Look at that. Amy, I saw you put your painting down. You don't want to show off on that one. Beautiful, Amy. You got Nick and Caitlin. Awesome.
Super cool.
Sarah, nice.
Real quick.
There's not one bad one. I'm serious.
They're all awesome. Real quick, when you get a chance, if you're able to, post it to, if you have Instagram, post it to Instagram and tag us at Buffalo Boughton, or you can email us, or we also have a feature on the website on the classes page. You just look through there and you'll find it. But it's to upload your painting, and you can upload it, and then we can post it to Instagram so others can see it also. But we love seeing everyone's paintings, and the best way is to do Instagram, second best way is to do the website, and then third best is to do the email. But we just love seeing everyone's paintings.
Yeah. And what's cool, okay, everybody, you can kind of tell it's all basically the same idea, but everybody did it differently. And that's what's really cool about art, because we all create differently. And that's such a good thing. My struggle growing up was that I couldn't paint like everyone else, right? I couldn't paint like my friends at school. They were so good. I'm not good. You got to get past that. I had to get past that and just trust that how I'm creating is me. How you're going to create, you'll be very critical of yourself. But try to get past that. Try to just like you looked at everybody else's painting and everybody else is feeling the same thing. Oh, I don't like my painting, but look at how good everybody else did. Try to understand that that's just a trick your brain is playing on you. And as you keep painting, you're just going to kind of start creating your own unique style. You're going to take the red blobs to a whole new level. The red dots. Picture them as red dots. There you go. So, yeah, pretty cool, you guys. Awesome job. All right, do you want to try the quick paint?
All right, I'll get ready, and let me know when you're
all right, I'll
ready.
Switch over to
So we usually just do 20 minutes. Do you want to do the same this time, Jeff?
Sure.
All right.
Everybody have your goal of 15 minutes.
There you go. Time slips away.
5 minutes to observe and edit.
There you go.
So obviously these are quick lessons, right? And how do I know? You're probably feeling like I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg. So keep doing these free classes. It'll keep making more and more sense. But what we've done is we created these courses, and the idea is, because right now we kind of touched a little bit on all these subjects. Well, the idea of the course is to really expand each one and simplify art, but then be able to make it your own. And that's the whole idea of what we're trying to accomplish. A lot of courses or classes that you'll take, the idea is to everybody paint the same thing, right? If we're gonna paint the Eiffel Tower, add blue right here, and we're gonna add some flowers here, and the tip of the Eiffel Tower is here. So we're not trying to do that with this class. We're trying to get a creative beast that is inside you to come out, and for you to have fun with art and just really create some fantastic art. All right, so let me reload my paint. So I'm gonna use a lot of these same colors that are on there, just because they're pre-made. Make it easier for myself. And if you watch the Instagram live, you saw how quick a painting can come about, and also how beneficial trusting your intuition is compared to following along. So this means that you're going to have to kind of let go of watching what I'm doing. Okay, so what did we do? We talked about the basic shape of the flowers, making that blob, the black dot in the center, mixing our greens, or any color for that reason, having fun with them, taking the greens from the blue green to the yellow green, light green, dark green, muddy green. We want to have color throughout the whole painting, kind of connecting everything. We want to create movement. So all of that is going to come into all of your intuition right now into that painting. You're going to funnel it into the painting. We've had practice. We've created a painting. So now trust your intuition. Okay, so is it about just flinging paint onto the canvas with no control? Absolutely not. You are going to be painting quicker, but you want to maintain control. If you paint with the idea of just flicking paint onto the canvas, your palette knife is going to catch the canvas, and you will have paint on your ceiling or on your wall or on the neighbor's house. It just so that's not the goal. You want to just keep creating contrast, applying paint, creating contrast in your painting. Okay. And it's a lot easier than you think. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Thank you, Isaac and Whitney. All right, are we ready? Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not ready. Bozo the clown up here is talking and putting everybody to sleep, and he's not doing what he needs to be doing.
Out in.
Sounds like my teachers at school. Saying, Jeff, quit talking. You're putting us all to sleep.
What was this? That just reminds me of the story. What story did you tell last week? But you kept making jokes or something? You kept getting kicked out of class.
Third grade, I had a crush on Mrs. Black.
That's right.
I couldn't help but keep cracking jokes. I was thinking I was impressing her, but she kept sending me out into the hallway. But it was to my benefit because there was a glass window in the hallway. And then I could just look back at Mrs. Black and stare and admire. My third grade Jeff Boughton. Yeah, I was out in the hallway. I get invited back in, and they were looking at a pie chart. And the teacher says, Jeff, or what does this pie chart tell us? And of course, I raised my hand and I said, somebody's not getting a very big piece of pie. Jeff, back out in the hallway.
Oh man, I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I can't win. All right, I think I have all my colors.
All right.
Yep.
All right, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
How about everybody else? Is everybody else ready to go?
Everybody have their paints? Everything?
Cool.
All right.
All right, so remember, all you're thinking about is applying paint to suggest the flowers. Keep in the back of your mind contrasts. If it's starting to get boring, throw in a contrast. All right, everybody ready?
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
Should I mute myself? Is it too loud?
I think it's fine, but I don't know. Anyone else thinks? There you go. All right, we are right at 12 minutes and 20 seconds. I'll give another update every 5 minutes, starting at 10 minutes. All right, we are right at 10 minutes. All right, we're right at 5 minutes. All right, that is 20 minutes. I'm not sure if you're talking, Jeff, but you're muted.
How's that?
Perfect.
All right, so how did everybody do? It was a little bit, you couldn't be afraid, could you? You had to just kind of paint and apply the paint and trust your intuition. Look at Sarah, nice job. You too, Sharon. So if you want to kind of Cherry and Janet, beautiful. So if compare your first painting with your second painting, and what you eventually you will have is somewhere in between. So as you keep improving or keep painting, your style will start coming together. It might go completely off course from what we're doing now, because you'll do something, it'll make more sense to you, and you'll start painting that direction, which is awesome. But that quick way of painting, and then where you're using your intuition, and then that slower way where we're kind of doing it more logically, those two should start blending together. So there's advantage to painting slow and then also painting fast also. And what it does is it just kind of speeds up the process of learning your style of painting. So this is a pretty wild style of painting right here. Is there any benefits to it outside of this style of painting? Next time you're in a gallery or museum, or if you're looking on the internet at even realistic art, you'll see that they will have a form of abstraction in their painting. Some very realistic paintings will, if you look close, will be all abstract little strokes, brush strokes, and colors. And so there is advantage to this. Matter of fact, if you start painting realistic and you apply what we've done today, it's going to enhance the way your painting looks. Awesome, Robin. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, someone said they loved the one you just did, Jeff, during the painting.
It's kind of I like it better also just because it's looser. All right, Conover, home run. Home run. I can see the going on world tour. It's at every museum in around the world. Everybody wants to take a look at your art.
Boom, and there's the second one.
Yep, both of those are already sold. You might as well get on Amazon and start buying things.
Yep.
So how do you clean up oil paint? All right, so oil paint obviously is an oil-based medium. So you'll want to use a mineral spirits. There's paint thinners. I like to use, if you go to Home Depot, they have an odorless mineral spirit. And it's going to be one of the safer mineral spirits to use. But you can actually get even better than that. They use a citrus, and it's from oranges and grapefruit and lemons and stuff like that. But it's a citrus mineral spirit type chemical. And it'll break down your paints and get it out of your clothes, off the ceiling, because somebody, And there's a brush cleaner. Sharon is showing us a brush cleaner. Let's see here. Gamblin makes Gamsol. This is actually, it's going to be more expensive, but basically it'll be just a refined mineral spirits. But if you're just going to be cleaning your brushes and cleaning it out of your clothes, a mineral spirits from Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards will work fine. And you can get one with strong chemicals, but I really like that odorless one. Now you got to go get the paint off the neighbor's house, because you know a little piece just went ding. That's what happens with me anyways. Yeah, so kind of a cool process. And this is just to get you started. These classes will eventually, like we did with the ballerina, we're going to just kind of push ourselves every once in a while and see where it takes us. The more you paint, the more comfortable you are going to be with applying the paints. And so like if we do Poppies again in the future, you might just go completely off what is natural to you. And that's what we're hoping for. Is it possibly, oh, I missed it. Ada, did you want to say something? I think I'm.
Oh, let's see here.
Yeah, maybe we could do a little question and answer. I don't know what time it. Yeah, maybe we'll take maybe 10 or 15 minutes and answer some questions. We won't be able to get to everybody, and we apologize. But please email us, contact us through Instagram. Ask questions that's going to enhance your art, the way you paint.
Yep.
And if everybody chose to paint the same way, we wouldn't, art would be boring. But think about this: Van Gogh, Picasso, Andy Warhol, Jackson Pollock, Damien Hirst. You look at any popular artist, and they created their own style. Imagine if they would have chose just to go, hey, I want to paint like everybody else. You know, there's no excitement in that. But discovering how you paint is what is going to make painting fun. And again, some people are just happy. They just want to paint like this artist, and then they will have reached their goal. But once you get there, you'll realize that it's not a challenge anymore, and you're going to want to push yourself. So this is just kind of launching you in that direction, finding your own style. All right, Ada, but I missed the question again.
Oh, did it disappear on you?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Ada, beautiful. Ada, picture this. Okay, so it's a very easy painting to look at. It's very soft. It's very peaceful. Imagine if that was on a greeting card and you sent it to your friend, how excited they would be to receive that piece of art, because it's that nice. It really is.
That's it.
Yeah, do that victory dance there. Nice job. Any other questions? So actually, let's, I want to plug the course a little bit more. We just touched on color tonight. And like I said, it it's such an exciting adventure to learn about color. Here's one thing that we'll learn in the class. Obviously, we know that advertisers know about the power of color, right? You'll see red and other warm colors in restaurants because that increases our appetite. We want to eat more, thus order more food. Wow, are we guinea pigs for them? Here's another interesting thing. There's a color, it's called drunk tank pink. And it's a soft pink that they put into cells, they put into rooms where they see they can even take the most violent person. They'll put them in that room and instantly they calm down. Just from that color, it's been given the name drunk tank pink. But you take a person that is, let's say, off their medicine and just really off balance. They can put them in that room and instantly they calm down. So we think of blue and green as clean. So a lot of hotels will decorate in blue and green. So that's what I'm talking about, the power of color. And that's what we're going to get into, and how you will come to learn to master color. So that when you approach a painting, like this right here, we just took these basic colors, used them to our benefit, and just kept recycling the same colors. We made this nice harmonious painting, but it's still very dynamic with all the colors. This is just like a little stepping stone into the bigger world. So if it's in your, if it's something that you would like to learn more about, I'd like to encourage you to take that class. What we did is we took the classes. We used to have a 6-week course, and you signed up for the whole 6 weeks. Well, now what we did is we broke up each class or each course. We turned it into 8 courses, and now they're offered individually. And what we're doing is it helps obviously support us, but it really does take what we're learning tonight to the next level. And it'll actually take your creativity. Maybe you're kind of lost. Well, what do I paint? How do I paint it? How do I find my style? All of those things are what's going to be in the course. And this is, the people that have taken the course in the past are finding success. So that's why we're excited about it. We take the principles that we talked about tonight, we learn some new principles, we apply it to our art, and they work. All of a sudden, we're making fantastic paintings. People are starting to, who've taken the course, are starting to get into galleries, starting to sell their paintings, get commissions. And so if it's something you're interested in, I'd like to really recommend it. But don't forget, these classes, they're free. We are having so much fun teaching them. We hope you keep coming back, because you will keep learning. You will keep learning new things. And let's say if in the future, if we do another Poppy class, I can't recommend it enough. Take the class, because it's just going to add to your skill. So now you're going to approach the Poppies and be confident. You're going to be more confident than you were tonight, and your painting is going to be that much better. And actually, let's say we do the class again in a month, and you take classes in between from right now and then a month from now. Your brain has the ability to take even all this information that just was thrown at you tonight, take it and start cataloging it, organizing it, connecting things. And so next time we do the class, it'll be that much easier, because you have this foundation now. Even with all our crazy antics and ranting and going off course, all of those things. So again, is there any questions? I want to make sure your questions are answered. And if you know how to do the digital hand, you can do the digital hand also.
Yeah. And if you have any questions later, you can email us or message on Instagram or whatever it may be. Actually, you know what? Let me stop recording real quick.